What do you do when you've been following all the advice, not skipping any steps, doing everything you possibly can to build your business, and you get a bad review, negative feedback? Today, we're going to talk about some of the things that cause negative feedback and how to handle those reviews and that negative feedback, and maybe a little deep dive into some of the things that can cause it and ways that you can maybe limit that. Hey, everybody, my name is Greg. I run an online Pokemon business called Kings of Kanto, uh, mainly TCG player, a little bit on eBay, uh, some vending here locally at shows. I just crossed over 4,000 orders completed on TCG player. I got a negative review today. It's really, in all honesty, it's been my second one. I did get one at the very beginning. It's just a package that didn't show up. So I'm not real familiar with it, but it's not because I've just gotten lucky. There's some things that I do. Let's talk a little bit about it. I've had 20 years of experience in customer service. Before I started this adventure with you guys, I worked in the retail space on a lot of things. I've been to a lot of very expensive trainings and conferences. I've heard a lot of really smart people talk about customer service. At the end of the day, the best advice I've ever gotten is all customer service and all transactions, any failure that happens in those transactions comes down to one thing: unmet expectations. Unmet expectations lead to the failure in your business. They lead to the failure in your friendship. They lead to the failure in your dinner that you made. They lead to the failure in your marriage. They lead to the failure in your job. Unmet expectations pretty much control everything that you do in life. And there's a couple of parts to that. So if you have, is the expectation spoken? Did you know that they expected to get tracking on their $8 order? Did you know that they expected to get, you know, every card top loaded, every holo that they ordered that was 10 cents top loaded? Sometimes the expectations that you don't know, you know, you can't be controlled for that. Um, do they know that your expectation is for it to get there within the EOD and within the estimated date of delivery? Do they know that your expectation may not be to ship it out 30 minutes after you get the order? No, they don't. So, the expectations in our scenario where we're selling online are completely uh, they're unspoken, they're unknown expectations until the transaction's already completed. So that can make it harder. Ah, you're gonna run into unreasonable people. Guys, I've sold cell phones, I've sold cars, I've been a waiter. And I did all three things. I sold the cell phones and then I worked at a call center for T-Mobile, the same company, and became the manager of the customer relations department that handled phone calls. And guys, I'm old. I worked in the time when people called and they had roaming charges, okay? I know how to handle people that are mad. And I've handled a lot of people that are mad. Let's talk about TCG player in specific. The scenario that I got that I got today was somebody that didn't get an order. It was a single card. It was it was 19.99. I didn't send it with tracking. Now, I do believe that TCG Player, I mean, they're owned by eBay, dude. They could they could do something to help us with tracking on envelopes. You know, eBay has it. There's a better way. There's a better process. You know, all the expectations that these customers have are set up by these guidelines in TCG Player, and they go and read that, oh, well, it says that sellers, if they want to make sure if they care, they'll do it for anything that's $20. This guy actually said that in his review that he sent to TCG Player. Uh, well, you know, if TCG Player wants to put it on there that that's their stance and that's what they want to do, maybe they ought to give us 5% fees on anything that's over $20. That's, you know, a single card. How about that? Is it reasonable for me to think that my $20 card, I mean, anytime you use track shipping, it's going to cost you at least $4, $4.50 now. I mean, everything's up. The supplies, the bubble mailer, it's going to cost you $455. Is it reasonable for them to think that I should use up 25% of the value of the card in shipping after they've already charged me 13.25%? I mean, is that a winning business model? They're smart. They make a lot of money. They know that that's not. Okay. This person sends me a review, says, I never got it, had to buy from somebody else. Hey, I made mistakes on this one. I did. I didn't feel good about it right off the bat. He wasn't responding to the stuff that I use normally, same way. You know, you're going to run into orders that are like that. But I follow the same process every time. No matter how their first contact is with me, I follow the same process every time. I tell them, somebody reaches out, hey, I don't have my order. That's the most common one you're going to get. It'll be the day before the estimated date. They'll be telling you, hey, I don't have my order yet. Okay. Customer service 101. Told you guys before in another video. Show empathy right off the bat. Draw common ground. Show empathy. Hey, that's crazy. I remember that order. Thank you so much for placing it. That it should be there by now. Could be on its way. Some of the orders have been running a little bit slow on the you know, I'll look and see where their address is. On the East Coast, some of the orders are running a little bit slow. Hey, I'm not saying lie to them and say, hey man, I sent that, you know, Pony Express. You should have got it already. I'm just saying that acting like you remember the exact order, acting like you care a little bit more than you do, goes a long ways. Okay, it does, because you're doing so many orders. Of course, you're not intimately in on it. Oh, hey, man, John got this Koraidon EX. Man, I'm really happy for John. You know, the first couple of sales you get, it will be like that. But in all honesty, it's just a transaction. Now, whenever most of the time, you're not going to come in contact with anybody. 99% of the time, you don't come in contact with anybody. But when you do, you got to handle it the right way. Okay? Couple of basic things I do. Right off the bat, show empathy. Hey, understand it's not there yet. Hey, you haven't happened to check with your post office yet, have you? Because sometimes they get hung up. I've had a lot of stuff get damaged in the mail, and they sometimes hold on to it, bag it, maybe hold it there at the counter and wait for you to come ask. Um, if it's if the post office is kind of close for you, or you happen to be in town, would would it be acceptable for me to ask you to possibly stop by and see if they know anything about it? Question mark. and I follow up with. And in the meantime, I'll continue to check my mail. I'll ask my wife if there's any returns that maybe I haven't seen. I'll check with my post office and my postmaster, my post guy, see if he perhaps remembers there being anything that been returned that hasn't got back to me. Let's do that. Would you give me a couple of days to try to see if we can hunt it down? I really appreciate your patience. I've never had somebody come back and say, "Hey, refund me right now." So I'm going to keep using that. I tell them, "Hey, let's do a couple of things. Let's look at this. Let's look at that. You know, buy time. Buy time." I ship pretty much every other day right now. Do as I say, not as I do. Okay, because if you're just starting, ship every day. I did for a long time, but right now, you know, I have. It's so much of a process to pick some of these orders because I got, you know, I have, I've got 50,000 cards online and about 6,000 unique items. So, sometimes picking orders, I'll have so many different things. I'll have people get a code card and a league battle deck and three reverse hollows, and whenever I do orders, I have to get a whole setup going and send it out. Do orders every day, okay? But eventually, when you get the hang of it, you're gonna do a little bit of a schedule. Sunday night, I did a bunch of orders. I normally will do a bunch of orders. I'll do a bunch of orders tonight, Tuesday night, and then Wednesday, Thursday, I do a bunch of orders Friday night, and then I wait for the weekend business again. That's kind of the way I do it. If I get an excessive amount of orders in a day, I'll go ahead and do them that night. But you'll get into a little bit of a routine. I'm telling you, even if doing it that way, you're doing it better than probably three-quarters of the people on TCG Player. Dude, I get stuff anytime I buy something, I get it so late. It just is what it is. So, make sure you're on top of that. This is the most common thing, and you're gonna get stuff. Hey, I'm telling you right now, you send a package and it goes to the West Coast or East Coast, it gets there in a day, day and a half, and it spends all the time in those areas, those large metropolitan areas. It spends a lot of time there, and you're gonna get those things. So, you know, that's what I do. I address it, tell them, hey, check it out, see what this. Do you mind seeing if you can check on that? And I'll check on mine. Hey, in the meantime, and I'll tell them, I'll wait for them to respond because I want to see what they're gonna say. I need to know if I need to turn on more customer service or if I need to just let it shake out. 9 times out of 10, they say yes, and then you know a day or two goes by and they say, "Hey, it showed up." It really does. That's why that process has worked so good for me. Um, in this scenario where they respond back right away, "Hey, I checked. They don't have it." Yada yada. I'll tell them, "Hey, I haven't. Let me continue to look for a return here, possibly. You know, there's been a couple of shipping delays here recently. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and notate the account and send it through the TCG Player. Let them know that you didn't receive your item. That way, if we have to go ahead and process a refund, we can get that taken care of." So, what did you do in that in terms of expectations? So, when they reached out to you with the expectation of, "Hey, I don't have my order," you acknowledged their expectations and you laid out the expectation of, "Hey, there could be an issue here. Sorry for the inconvenience. We're gonna work to resolve it." Your next expectation here is gonna be You just laid down the expectation of, hey, if it's not resolved, I will take care of it. I'll refund it. So you put to rest a lot of problems in their mind. People are a lot more likely to wait a couple of days to get their stuff if they already know, you already put that out there. I've already put that out there. Hey, I understand. I'm still trying to check on my post office. Let me check the returns that come tomorrow morning. I can't tell you how many times I bought 3 days just saying, hey, let me check the mail tomorrow for the return. Most of the time, people say, man, it showed up. It was damaged. The postman had it in a damn Ziploc bag, all kinds of stuff. And then, most of the time, you're off the hook for that. I mean, every once in a while, you have to pay for stuff. If you use team bags and top loaders and semi rigids, you don't have to, though. Most of the time, they're like, hey, thank God you packaged it like that. So that's your most common one. If you're We'll do a packing video. There's other packing videos out there. They're good ones. Um, Most of the time, the only other thing that people complain about is conditioning of cards and packing. And I've already told you guys on the conditioning. Lightly played, heavily played, moderately played cards sell. If it's not conditioned right, if just condition it, put it moderately played. I'm telling you, so many times I put a near mint and a moderately played card on TCG Player, and the moderately played is, it could be a $5 card, and I've got it on there for a quarter less, and it sells first. I don't care. I don't know what it is, but it does it. So don't let stuff that's in your hands. Shipping is not in your hands. Conditioning is how you pack it is. Take care of that stuff. Use these tips and these tricks that I just gave you, customer service wise, understanding people's expectations, responding with empathy. Use those tools to buy yourself time, and you'll avoid it. Hey, in the broad scheme of things, I just got one. It's the first time I've ever seen my account say anything less than 100%. Man, I woke up upset. What'd I do? I kept on going about my business. I got to change what I'm doing because, for the last 4,000 5-star reviews to over this one situation, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. I turn on the camera and talk to you guys about it. That is one thing that's good about this. It's kind of, if you're out here doing this right now and you're following with me, if you have something you're passionate about, create content, man. It feels good. The first week I was real caught up in how many people were watching and how many people were subscribing. Don't get caught up in that. Just just make it. Just make it. But guys, hey, I'm telling you, customer service is tough. There's a reason why not everybody works in it. You're gonna run into unreasonable people, and you're gonna run into circumstances that are out of your hands. Respond the same way every time. Handle everything the same way. Don't get lazy. Don't take shortcuts. I was probably short with this person. I was upset. Felt like they might have been lying about it, but you cannot help that. I should have handled it the same way I did every time. I didn't really lay out the same customer service guidelines that I had been. I got lazy. Don't skip the steps, guys. Reach out. Use those empathetic phrases and word checks. Buy yourself time. Allow things that are out of your control to perhaps work themselves out. And then refund the order and apologize for the inconvenience and be polite. You need to be 100%. Okay? You need to be a verified seller. It's very important. Follow these tips, guys. And keep selling. Get out there, hustle. Start your business today. Start your channel today. and follow mine because I really appreciate it. I'll see you guys next time.